Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Fangames podcast number 2. I'm your host
Oh
Pudding,
man.
and today we are going to be interviewing pieceofcheese87. So, how's it going today, Piece?
Oh, it's going excellent. The fan game marathon just ended. A lot of cool stuff happened. Got some cool games out, and the I Want to Maker beta just started. So a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, that's sick. So, what types of fangames do you usually play?
Well, I don't actually play that many fan games casually, but whenever one of my friends releases a game, then I'll probably play that. I have been playing Crimson Needle 3. That's been a lot of fun. Um, the bigger adventure games, I like those. I don't usually play needle games, but some of the more well-known ones like Shiver and that Neater Games game, I played that one. So I can enjoy a lot of different kinds of fan games. I don't really like
Yeah.
the avoidance games or super hard needle. I don't tend to dabble in
Yeah.
those.
And you've made a lot of adventure games too.
Sort of. I mean, the games I've made haven't actually been that adventure-y. I mean, I've made some. Sandwich is probably my most adventure-like game that I've made, but it isn't even done. A lot of the games I make are kind of like gimmicky, needle-ish kind of games. I also have made some medley games and some miscellaneous weird experimental games.
So,
But
yeah, you're very diverse.
yeah, I would say that I
So,
I like to think mix things up so I don't get bored.
yeah. So, how long have you been playing fangames?
So I think it's been more than 10 years, probably. First found I Want to Be the
Wow.
Guy just by looking on YouTube. I just saw some video. I think it was called like I Want to Be the Guy, My Best Run or something. It was just some guy playing impossible mode, but I kind of liked the look of the game, so I played it. And I sucked at it. And actually, the first video I ever uploaded on my YouTube channel was a really awful quality playthrough of I Want to Be the Guy with no audio or anything.
I can relate to that. My first videos were like Minecraft Let's Plays.
Oh
Um,
man, did they have audio though?
no, they didn't have a microphone.
Yeah, I didn't have microphone or like any kind of like game audio or anything. It was just a muted video. But yeah,
Nice.
so I played Guy, and I was a little kid, so whatever. Then I found I Want to Be the Fan game, and I also sucked at that, and I got even like less progress in there. But I also liked that game. So I looked on the KN forums for more games, and there were games like Ultimatum and Tribute, and I thought those were fun. And eventually, I decided to make my own fan game using Tidget's engine, and this was still like 2010 or so.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, and the game I made was called Weird Game, and it is on Delpher, and it's like really, really bad. But people have told me they enjoyed playing it, which is still puzzling to me. But yeah,
Nice.
that's how I got into fan games. Pretty normal story. There's no like
Yeah.
crazy
So,
fan game that drew me in.
can you recount like some of your fondest memories of fan games?
Well, there's a lot of them. Um, I mean, when Weird Game first came out, Yo Sniper made a video of it saying how not to make a fan game, and it kind of crushed my 10-year-old soul a little bit. So I still remember that, but it was a great video. It's a shame
Yeah.
Yo Sniper deleted that.
Rest in peace,
Um,
Yo Sniper.
he's still around, but yeah, it's a real shame he deleted his videos. Um, I found the Wannabes 2013 with Den Farrak's YouTube videos. That was nice. And some great memories of the early days with the Wannabes. Paragus Rants stream. Still streaming those old adventure games. Um, I remember the great Wannabes Purge. I was a member of the Wannabes at one point, but And Dan Farag just kind of kicked a bunch of people out who didn't stream very often.
Yeah,
So
I was too, but I got kicked out.
yeah, it's yeah. I want to be at one point, but never again. Um,
So, you've been
yeah.
involved in a lot of collab games. Which collabs did you enjoy making the most?
Well, Collab 1 and Collab 2 were a lot of fun to make, not very fun to finish. Like, the individual collab stages are really fun to make just because you're just messing around, having fun. But then when you have to actually make it into a real game, it becomes kind of a slog because you have to like balance a bunch of stages that you made in an hour. But the stages in that game were pretty fun to make. Some of the more laid-back needle collabs I've been a part of have been fun. Like my stage in NA side, I like that one.
Yeah.
Discord makers, that is. What are some other collabs I did? Oh yeah, a while back I did a needle collab with Stonk called "Get My Daily Recommended Amount of Fiber." That was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, and recently I actually, well, obviously there's the marathon games, but those are usually pretty stressful to make. But I also worked on the blind needle race game this year, which was fun. We made that in 4 hours.
Yeah, speaking of needle, you've also made some needle games. Like style inspired by any other games?
Huh. I'm trying to think. I know my needle style is very kind of clean. I don't like placing floating spikes very often. I just kind of like attaching them to walls. I never go off the 16 pixel grid. Um, I don't know if I'm inspired by anything. I've probably been influenced by a lot of different types of games. Maybe Crimson Needle, maybe like it's kind of platforming in Crimson.
Yeah, it's like a subconscious influence.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't think of any game in particular that inspires me to make Needle, but I'm sure there's games that have definitely influenced me that I've played.
Yeah, so you've worked on like a lot of big projects, including the two cultured games. Did making them ever get overwhelming?
Yes, absolutely. Culture 2 could have been finished probably like 6 months earlier than it did, but no one really wanted to do a lot of work on it because the thing about Culture 2 is that the bug to-do list, like the bug fixing list, got so big that it was like, it's like, yeah, we didn't know what to do about it, but
Yeah.
Clayson was very diligent and ended up finishing that up for us, so Culture 2 would not be around if it weren't for Clayson. And
Shout
I Want
outs
to
to
Maker is
Clayson.
another huge project, but I haven't really been working on it. I started out with the project, but I mean that's like a monster of a project now. But they're handling it pretty well. Collab 2 was a pretty huge project that got overwhelming, and it took us a long time to finish that one.
Yeah,
And
but
the blind race games as well, especially the one this year. Oh man, we did not really want to do any of the work on the blind race game this year because no one had any motivation.
yeah.
But in the last month, we got it together just because of the stress of getting it ready for Fangame Marathon.
Those games
So
were really high quality. It paid off.
yeah, I'm glad people seem to like the one this year. It went really well.
So, what are your favorite fan games?
I have a list on my Delford profile actually. The most recent inductee to that list is CN3 at place number 10, but my favorite fan game for a long time has always been Done Wanna Be Anything
Yeah.
2. That's like a really well-made adventure game. I just really like that game.
That game is huge.
Also, the original Done Wanna Be Anything is a personal favorite of mine. I like Denferog's Reach the Moon, Overlord, Troll King, of course. Dopamine's games are great. Geezer's games, of course, are good. And I like Cephalos, like I Want to Grow Up, 8-Bit, Super Kid Brothers, and Gay Wizards games as well are very high quality.
Um, if you could replay first time, which fan game would it be?
Hmm. It might be. Oh, I'm trying to think. What game made me feel like the best while I was playing it? I mean, seeing through is pretty cool, but it might be Nang. Like that game was really awesome playing it for the first time.
Yeah,
Don't Want to Be Anything 2 is also cool, discovering everything in that game. Reach the Moon was cool with its puzzles. That'd be cool to figure out again, but yeah, I think that's
all right. Do you have
what I'd say.
any favorite creators?
I'd say probably Xanto, just because like both of his games are like some of my favorite fan games, but he doesn't really make games anymore. Matt and Jay is really good, and he's still making games. I mean, Geezer, of course. I do like Kale. I think Kale is like a great influence in the community. Pat, of course. Yeah, Pat is great. Gay Wizard. Um, a lot of the people in this community making adventure games are.
Yeah,
Like, I just really like their games.
yeah, those are all good creators. Um, so is it important to you to get like a lot of fan game clears?
Do I get a lot of clears?
Yeah.
No. um, yeah, I don't really finish that many fan games, to be honest. I Yeah, when I get a fan game clear, it's usually when I'm streaming or having someone watch me play. But most of the time, I kind of stop in the middle or near the end of a game, just because I find
Yeah,
something else to do.
that's
But that doesn't mean
relatable.
I don't enjoy playing them. I didn't even finish. Doesn't Want to Be Anything too. It's just, oops, a car honking out my window. I just, I don't know. I just
Usually
sometimes.
I don't finish because it's too hard.
I don't know if that's the reason. I think I just lose interest. I mean, not that I dislike the games I'm playing. I just like, yeah, I think I got my fill of this game.
Yeah. So, what are your plans for the future with fan games?
It's hard to say. I usually come up with things like on the spot and then roll with them, but I do have a few ideas. I mean, I am going to be doing Fan Game Millionaire weekly. I don't know how long it'll last, but that'll be cool. I will probably try to release Sandwich this year, although that's kind of up to Geezer. I mean, that's like a really old school game. I don't even know how it'll hold up now, but I still want to get that out there.
How long have
I'll
you been
probably
working on that?
Sandwich
Yeah.
6 years.
Damn.
It's, I mean, yeah, it's basically like Kill the Guy, or it's just nothing's happening with it because I just don't have any ideas, and I'm always like occupied with something else. What else is there? There's like more collab games I think we want to do. We were, discussing Cultured 3 at one point, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But you never know.
That's cool. That's cool. So, what do you think about the current state of fan games?
The current state of fan games. Well, I think I don't know. I don't know how much I Want to Maker is going to change the way we think about fan games because it's a very new thing. So we'll see what kind of impact it has on the community. But I do kind of think that the amount of needle games that comes out is still like really high. I mean, people can enjoy what they want. I don't personally get that too much enjoyment out of needle. Like, it's kind of like a thing I play like very rarely. I do have fun playing them, but like, I just don't do it very often. So I like seeing more variety in the new
Yeah,
releases. But I think fan games have always been, kind of stagnant in that there's, a good game released on average like probably twice a month. So I don't know. I haven't lost hope with fan games or anything like some
that's
people
good.
have. I still think they're going good.
Yeah, never lose hope. Okay, so the next question is kind of a joke. E3.
You know, a lot of people probably think I don't like K3 because I don't. I mean, I've been kind of vocal sometimes about, being frustrated with everyone streaming it, but I like K3 up to the boss rush. I'll put that out there. Up to from the first stage to the boss rush, I think it's a solid game. Past that point, I think it's kind of poorly designed and weird. So I don't know. I mean, if you look at
Understandable.
my Delphi review, it's a 7 out of 10. So that's how I feel about it.
Alright. Is apples or cherries?
Huh?
Apples or cherries?
Oh, apples or cherries? I I don't know. I mean, I use them interchangeably. I think I prefer apples because they look more like apples to me.
Yeah,
But
I'm an apples person too.
yeah, I think I'm leaning towards apples, but I do sneak in a cherry every once in a while just because, cherry is kind of the more accepted one, I think. I don't know.
Alright, well, thanks for coming on the podcast today. It was nice to have you, and see you guys in the next podcast.
Yeah, it's fun answering these questions. Thanks for having me.
Yep.